All right, shalom and good afternoon, boys. Yeah. Well, what I wanted to do was come in and talk about food storage and general preparedness because I see a lot of people they're showing more and more interest in the idea of homesteading, whether community or homestead life. A lot more people are seeing what's going on in the economy, and it's pretty tough. It's pretty bad because what you're seeing is that the cost of living for pretty much everything, from food to supplies to housing, uh, it's all going up. But the one thing that is not going up is wages, and this is why I uh, uh, preach pretty much the need to be self-sufficient. Not only self-sufficient when it comes to food, because see, a lot of people they're on the path of self-sufficiency, and that's a good thing. Uh, uh, but a lot of people are getting a lot of hiccups because they don't know quite what to do when it comes to how to grow your food long term. Now, it doesn't mean that just because you moved out to a piece of land and you're there, that it doesn't mean that you're self sufficient. It just means that you've made the transition. So uh, this is why I talk about the need to be self-sufficient, not only when it comes to growing your own food, but when it comes to as well as your own personal economics. And it's a blessing to be able to live and do that, meaning that we're not dependent on the system. Um, because as we see, the economy is getting worse. And we've been talking about this for many, many, many years. And now it's coming to pass, and a lot of people they are in a situation where they're panicking. A lot of people are hurting, and it's a sad deal. But the scriptures talk about the notion of people that prepare their houses and how they're going to be, as opposed to the people that don't prepare their houses. We have the situation of Joseph when it came to 7 years of famine and then 7 years of plenty. We have Noah. We have Sodom and Gomorrah. We have all these examples of people that were told to come out and be separate because was coming in. Unfortunately, judgment is coming on his land, and few people are prepared in any form, whether it's a couple of weeks worth of food storage, let alone months into years. So, what I'm going to get into today is showing how we prepare our houses to make sure that we can sustain ourselves for years. And it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of preparation, but first and foremost, it takes discipline. It takes you being in a mindset as to where you see what's going on and you are able to focus on uh, making sure that your house is prepared. Because could you imagine how Noah looked when he warned the people for over 100 years that a flood was coming, and they mocked him, they belittled him, they made fun of him, they did all of these things, and then it hit, and so we're in the same state now, and so that's why it's so important to prepare. So let's go into how we prepare and how we go about doing what we do when it comes to preparedness. Now, as you see all in here, this is our long-term food storage. Now, I don't know how many of these things that we got. I mean, I couldn't even tell you. That's probably 3 deep all the way up to the ceiling. When it comes to the basics, now we're talking about beans, we're talking about rice, and basically that's what I have in those long-term storage buckets: beans and rice in mylar bags. This, what we're sitting here, move back a little bit. We are in what is this, a 12 by 30 lofted cabin. So we have 2 stories in order to store as much as our needs. And basically, this is not all the storage because, we're at the point where we got to store things underneath the cabins. We got to store things underneath the main house because we just have so much stuff. But it's important because of the rising cost of living. So when we talk about food here, what we focus on first and foremost is the basics. Okay, but the basics is so critical. So that's what we focus on. And so then we have our long-term storage for beans and rice. But in addition to that, you can come in here. We store these 90-day supplies of food, and we have about 15 or 20 of these as well. And we store them because it's important to make sure that we have everything that we need. Okay, so all of this is food storage, and then stuff like that. We store things like boots. I have plenty of boots. Okay, and in addition to that, what else do we store? As you see here, we store diapers. I mean, if you're going to be having babies, you want to make sure that you have diapers. Now, again, this is not all the diapers. We probably have about $5,000-$6,000 worth of diapers put back. Not only the diapers, but pull-ups. We got little ones. We're trying to get them out of those diapers. We got pull-ups. We store an ample supply of. In addition to that, wipes. Okay, wipes. We store a ton of wipes. Now, this is not all of it. This is just a smidgen of the supplies that we have in here. So we focus on the basics and other things that we store. I mean, this is a perfect example right here. You see, we store socks. Socks are very important. Okay? Let's see here. What kind of socks I got here? So this is a perfect example. You see? These are some good socks right here. Okay? What is this? Wool? Heavy duty wool or cotton? And then you have the socks for the sisters, socks for the children. We have all of that stuff. Get out. We're doing something now. So, plenty of socks. Okay? What else do we got here? Okay? What else do we got here? Candy. We make sure that we have our pressure cans. And we have a couple of these cannons. So that when we're ready to can, we have canning supplies. Okay? What else do we got here that we store long term? So we got the food, we got the diapers. Another thing that we store are things like tampons. Okay, women and your children and your women, they need this kind of stuff, so we store it. Another thing that we store a lot of is spices. Okay, and as you see, not only do we store a lot of spices because, the meat that we grow our own lamb, we grow venison or hunt venison, chickens and stuff like that. All of these things, you're going to need spices. So what we do is we store up on spices. These little slits here, as you see in these storages, you have these slits. So what I did is I just put up planks to do extra storage. So things like Worcestershire sauce, we have over here all of this stuff, Worcestershire sauce, syrup and things of that nature. Over here, we store a lot of, another thing that is important, that's critical, is to store a lot of is garbage bags. So we store garbage bags. I mean, we had many years, all of this is garbage bags, all in here. All of these are garbage bags. Okay? Garbage bags. Bacterial wipes. That's another thing that we store lifetime supplies. And I'm talking about many years supplies of these things that we store because it's just so critical. And as you see, I'm a builder as well, so I get extra product. This is insulation product. All of these 12-foot, 5/8 inch pieces of sheetrock. This is going to be designed for doing projects. I got this excess backer board I'm going to be doing my bathroom remodel with. So, all of that stuff is stored here as well. Okay. So this is why it's so critical to make sure that you're storing things. And if you notice, anything that needs to be in any type of plastic, any type of jar, anything like that, we store it there. Another good example is good old-fashioned toilet paper. Okay? Now, this is full of toilet paper. This is full of toilet paper. As you see, we store toilet paper. This is something that just don't go bad, and we store a ton of it. I think this is toilet paper as well. This toilet paper? What's in here? Good, see? More toilet paper. You see? But this stuff has to be stored in such a manner that mice don't get into it. Because, see, if you have stuff and that mice get into it, all of this is toilet paper as well, okay? And then we have other miscellaneous kind of supplies that I store in here. But then we put a lot of food in here, okay? We got to put a piece of
tape.
What do you call it?
Tape.
Masking tape here. But tampons, maxi pads. We store a lot of this stuff. But if you store it out, the critters are going to get to it. And then you have these 55-gallon buckets right here. We store a lot of food in. So you got rice, you got sugar, you got pasta. I mean, these things are just filled with this kind of stuff. Just the basic supplies that we have. Okay, what we got in here? Sugar, rice, flour. You see? We're going to fill that bad boy up in a couple of weeks. But you see? As well, coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. So you got your sugar, you got your rice, you got your flour, you got your pasta. You see, all of these is filled with this kind of stuff. Shrink wrap it. You see, baking soda. All of this stuff, flour. So, you know, just a continuous amount of stuff. Well, what we got here? We wear glasses. So another thing that I store is stuff to clean our glasses. What you see here? You need to take one of these. So glasses are very expensive. As you get older, your eyesight going bad. Take this stuff out. Boom. Right? And so, you know, I mean, it all depends on what you need. If you don't have glasses, then hey, you don't need this kind of stuff. But we store what we need, and we store an abundant supply. And we take this kind of stuff and we throw it inside of the wood stove. So, you know, these are the things that we store in abundant supply. We have years supply of spices, years supply of diapers, years supply of these things. As you see here, and everything is in plastic. So, all types of first aid kits, you see, clothing, toys for the children. All of this stuff is filled up all the way to the back. And then over here, you can go over here. We use this for our summer and our winter storage. So, clothes like this, and then materials. I mean, I got, 12-foot 2x6s going up back there. But those are going to be used for building projects. But the idea is that we keep this, all of our major storage when it comes to our clothes. Winter stuff comes in, summer stuff comes out. We use that in storage. But we put all of this in plastic to store, okay? So one of the biggest things that we had, and one of the biggest challenges that we had, and as you see all of this material here, it's just thrown up here. But that's all right. It just stays there. But the name of the game is that, mice can get to this stuff. So you want to make sure that everything that you have is stored properly, that it's in some type of plastic covering, that it's in some type of plastic, plastic protective box or heavy-duty storage containers to ensure that there's no issue with that, see? So all of our clothes, and this is all into the future as well. So, in a situation where if we had to stay here for years, we have clothes for the children. So we have what she's 7, 4, and 3.
7, 5, and 3.
7, 5, and 3. So what we do is we store way into the future for boys and girls. So we have clothes for them way into the future, into their early teens. We store back and we just put back because they ain't gonna go to waste. But all of the stuff like this, first aid, shaving cream, antibiotics, creams and ointments, things of that nature. We store it all because it's not going to go to waste and it sits back and we can ensure that we have it. Supplies for when I'm skinning my deers and butchering the animals. We have plastic covering for that. You see, we have plenty of first aid right here. Now, that's not the only first aid. Again, this goes all the way back, and this is filled with clothes, filled with supplies. Anything that we need to function without having to go outside. If something happened today, we're secure. So we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Now, come over here and let me show you something. We have, flip it over, okay? So in here, we have deep freezers, okay? Now, one of the things that, I just don't see a lot of and is critical is your deep freezer setup, okay? So we have 3 deep freezers, and this is where we store all of our food. So, it tells a lot about a man when you open up a freezer. So you see all of that food right there? That's all of the greens that we've grown, you see? All of the stuff that we've grown. This is all the stuff that we've grown. But things that we don't grow, like butter, we store butter, okay? But pretty much these are all of the greens that we grew last year. Our okra, our peppers, our collard greens. A brother bought us a big thing of collard greens, kale. All of this stuff we grow, you see? But we're going to eventually be changing over to candy. We have everything necessary, all of the lids, everything necessary to can. Again, up here, we store all our spices. The only oil that we use is grapeseed oil for cooking, okay? So we store a ton of it. Aluminum foil, we store a ton of that stuff as well. What else we got? Coconut oil. Interestingly enough, I use coconut oil for the body. I don't even use coconut oil for cooking. But we have it just in case. Then we have stuff like baking powder. Another thing, okay, that we store a lot of. Lamp oil. You can't even get lamp oil inside of Walmart no more. But we store a ton of lamp oil in the back over here. Other things that we store, this general canned stuff. But if you're gonna get some stuff, make sure it's non-GMO. We store pasta salad. Pasta. We also store a variety of things like vanilla extract, things for bacon, syrup, chicken broth. Another thing that we do a lot of store of is, you see, I was watching a video of a couple of brothers on land. And they were talking, right? They were talking and they were doing a presentation. And then one of the brothers said, "Oh yeah, I don't have underarm deodorant." And the brother was like, "Yeah, go and when you go to the store, get me some underarm deodorant as well." Now they're in a homestead or community. You need to be storing this stuff. How is it that you're going to be out there and you're not storing this stuff and you got to run to the store to get stuff like this? So we store a lot of this stuff, you see? Toothbrushes, we store a lot of this stuff, you see? You can see it. First aid, all of this stuff is filled with first aid, supplies, things of that nature. Hand soap, bacterial soap. These are the storage bins that we use, you see? More lamp oil up there. Hydrogen peroxide, wasp killer. These are things that you need in order to ensure that that, because you're on a homestead. So all of these things are very much critical. What else do we got over here? You see, we store spices up here, some salad dressings, and then, of course, now again, you got a deep freezer, right? It don't need to be fancy. It don't need to be all glossy. All you needed to do is to store what you need. So, perfect example here, we have our lamb. Now, this lamb was grown right here on the land. Instead of using beef, ground beef, this is ground lamb right here. Now, this is processed by the processor, but this grown on the land. Okay, we got plenty of seed and seed storage. Okay, what is this? Beans. Okay, but we keep plenty of seed storage, and of course, you know me. I love me my leg of lamb, or I love me my T-bone steaks. I love me my filet mignon. This is the cutoff and stuff. Ground beef, ribeye steaks. You see? I like to store this stuff too. You see my okra? You see? So this is what we store. And I got about 3 more lambs that are going into the freezer in the next couple of weeks. You see? So this is going to be packed with lamb, more beef and stuff. And then over here, the final one. What was that? More food, more corn. But all of this, what you think this is? Huh? Look at all that. This is venison. Because see, these are staples, and we have plenty. When the Saints come over, we'll give them some shoulder, we give them some back strap, you see? But this is filled. So by the time I finish in the next couple of weeks, this is going to be filled with lamb. It's already full, but it's going to be more full up to the top with lamb because we had over a dozen births. And then from the previous session, we had about 4 male lambs that's ready to go to the processor. So they're going right in here, you see? So this is what self-sufficiency looks like. If you can't put yourself in a situation where the food that you grow, you see, this is the food that we've grown on the land right here, you see? And see, all of the other stuff complements what we grow on the land. This is why I say focus on your spices, focus on your rice, focus on your pasta, focus on your oils, focus on your sugar. You see? Plenty of sugar we store. All of that stuff. I mean, we got tons of supplies of this kind of stuff. Okay? And then you come over here. I mean, like, again, you know what I'm saying? Vanilla extract, chicken broth, ketchup, hot sauce. We love hot sauce, right? Ain't that wrong with a little bit of hot sauce, okay? Especially if you're black, you know what I'm saying? Apple cider vinegar. I can go on. Cleaning supplies. And so, like I said, this is not all of the stuff that we have. And then let's go into the cleaning supplies right quick. Now, what the hell are they doing? But we'll get into that later, okay? But basically, the point that we're trying to make is that, when you store long term, you don't have to worry about the fluctuations in price. You don't have to worry about the instability because when we go to eat, we come to our storehouse. When we need cleaning supplies, or when we need hygienic supplies, or we need medical supplies, bandages, food, diapers, toilet tissue, wipes, shaving stuff, toys for the children. I tell you, man, pretty much everything that we need, we have right here on the land, not only to sustain ourselves, but to sustain several families at once, because there's going to be people out there that may have skill sets, but may not have resources. This is why I say real skills will always write you a ticket, you see? So this is why I tell people, focus on your real skills. Focus on what value you bring to the table, okay? Because a lot of people we're in a situation, and we've experienced it before, where people they want to come out, they want to extract and use all your resources, but they don't want to produce anything. They want to sit back and they want to sit on your dime and exploit all of the hard work and all of the effort that you've put back to be self-sustainable and self-sufficient. But they don't want to do anything themselves. You see? And we are living in a society where it's where it's all about me, gimme, all about me, and that's just ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work at all. You see? Where and so it's just not going to be tolerated for those who saw what the situation was that was in this economy and in this country and in this world, and began to prepare. So, in conclusion, and again, this is not at all. We got years worth of supply of laundry detergent, stuff like that. We can wash our clothes here while washing machine. We hang our clothes out in the dryer to dry. So this is all of the stuff that we don't have to spend because we've already put back. Since see, now we're in a situation where we can spend time with the children. We can take family outings and vacations. We can do little mini trips on the weekend and stuff like that. You know how much it costs to take a family of 5 out to eat? Damn near upwards of $150. If you're taking them to dinner, you're taking them to Chuck E. Cheese or the go kart or the bumper carts or whatever, or the jump park. All of this stuff costs money. But see, we're in a situation where we don't have to spend, or we don't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck because we're prepared. The average American can't whip $400 out of their pocket in order to come up with an emergency. Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have 6 months worth of supply of food put back? Do you have these things? Do you have the skill sets to ensure that all of this stuff is taken care of? We have we heat our homes with wood, so I got to make sure I have enough chainsaws, bar and chain oil for the mixture, and know how to maintain that stuff. See, I can go on and on and on and on about this preparedness stuff, but it's one thing for somebody to talk about it, but it's another thing for somebody that can show you and say, this is how it's done. So make sure that when you're storing your supplies, make sure that you're storing them in as many plastic lids and containers as necessary. Just back right up and come right out. Just back right up and come right out. Stuff what I'm talking about here, storage. You can store stuff in this. Storage. We're going to load this up with some more toilet paper. We're going to load this up with some more things like that. And so, all of these things are just so necessary if you want to make sure that that your family is taken care of, that they're provided for, and that they have everything that they need. All about preparedness. So, if anybody have any questions or any advice that you need, I'm more than happy to give. We're more than happy to help you. But y'all stay blessed. Shalom.